Donald Trump repeatedly complained about the moderators at last night's debate. Let me give you one example of that here, and then we'll discuss.
We have a question here from Ken Karpowitz. He has a question about health care. Ken?
I'd like to know, Anderson, why aren't you bringing up the emails? I'd like to know. Why aren't you
getting brought up the emails?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't. And it hasn't been finished at all.
Ken Karpowitz has a question.
It's nice to 1-on-3.
Now, that's just one example. There are other examples of him saying, oh, what's going? She just went a minute over her time, and you didn't cut her off. I go a second over, you cut me off. What's going on here? What's going on? And I find that example I played for you particularly funny because they're finally discussing some sort of substance. They're like, okay, question on healthcare. Let's go to somebody in the audience here. He's like, why? Emails, tremendous, believe me. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that email story is a real story. But the optics of when a guy says, let's discuss healthcare now, and a really substantive issue that affects people's lives in a direct way. He's like, but I'd rather discuss this other thing, which might affect your lives less. Tremendous, believe me. Okay, so, and you heard it, 1-on-3, great. He did this all night, super dismissive of the media, whining over and over like a bitch. But that gets to the main point here, is that as I'm watching that, I'm going, this guy is fucking, like weak and is oozing out of every pore of his body, and it's so biased against me. I don't like it. I can't fight it on my own. Sean Hannity, can I tag you in? Is this a WWE tag team match? So that's the sense I got from it. But as I'm watching it, I go, there's no doubt in my mind his supporters will spin it as strength. Because they spin everything he does as strength. Guys, he skipped out on a primary debate because Megyn Kelly was going to be there and she was going to hold his punk-ass feet to the fire. So what did he do? He said, I'm not going. No, because they don't treat Trump fairly. And he said, he went and did a fundraiser for veterans, where, by the way, he lied about how much he gave them. Stay classy, Don. But he skipped out because the moderators were going to be too hard on him. That is the biggest bitch move I've ever seen in my life. And what did his supporters say? Don is so strong. Look at him standing up to the media. How is that strength? That's not strength. So it's the same thing here. Fucking media is so biased against Trump. And by the way, overall, the moderators did a bad job in the questions that they asked. Like, they didn't ask anything about, climate change and super important issues, poverty. So they were bad in that respect. But in terms of the questions that they did ask, they did pretty well within the context of what they chose to ask. So bad choices for what to ask, but when they asked what they asked, then they did a good job of holding their feet to the fire. So, for example, you had the question about, Trump's tapes, which was fair game. But then you also had Hillary Clinton. They got to her Wall Street transcripts, and they held her feet to the fire on the Wall Street transcripts. So it's not even true in this instance that it's like, 1-on-3. It's not true. So, but that's Trump 101. Be massively weak, and your idiot followers will spin it as strength. Well, let me ask you guys a question. On what planet is it strength to sue The Onion over a satire article? On what planet is it strength to sue Bill Maher over a joke he made? On what planet is it strength to have a media blacklist where you ban outlets that are tough on you? How's that strength? How's it strength to say, let's open up the libel laws and sue the media when they write articles that I don't like? How's that strength? How's that strength? That's not strength. That's the opposite of strength. So if a whiny left-wing college kid did exactly what Trump has done, everybody on the right would say that is the ultimate social justice warrior, bitch, PC police moron. Oh, your feelings are hurt, so you're suing people over jokes? How about you get the fuck over it and you understand what free speech is, motherfucker? How about that? That's what all of them would say. But when it's their daddy Trump, all of a sudden they forget that PC police and social justice warriors are a thing, because in this case, it's a right-wing social justice warrior. So when you're being a whiny bitch and we agree with you politically, we love it. We love it. And that's what you get here. So this is classic Trumpism, weakness masquerading as strength, and somehow people fall for it.